Well, it's New Year's Eve in Vermont, 8 degrees outside. We still have the fake sun, not giving us any heat. We're going to present today an update on the 46 Gar Wood Ensign. John is finished framing the bottom, and what we'd like to share with you in a two-part report, 2 videos, is first of all have John take you through the process he's done to get this point to this point on the bottom, and then in the second part of this 2-part report, we'd like to talk about some of the issues on the topside planking that face a restorer at this point in a project like this. So John, take it away.
Okay, so the other day we were done the port side of the boat, and I still had to put the frames in the starboard side. The other night I came in and I fitted all the frames and I notched them in, and then yesterday I came in and I 5200'd them into place and put epoxy in all the holes on the keel. So the only thing left to finish the bottom getting ready for plywood is I've got to sand down through on the starboard side. I've got to even up the inside because I used a straight edge, 4-foot straight edge, and I made my planes of all of my frames good with the frames on the boat. And first of all, I made sure the frames had the same curve as the port side by running a straight edge and measuring the depth of the curve. And I fitted both sides. I sanded in this side and then I fitted the frames to match the frames that were in the boat. So all the way down through, we got a pretty nice plane of all the frames. But some of these are set a little deeper than others, and I have to sand them in. And then on the bottom frames, let that dry, and then we can proceed with putting plywood on the bottom of the boat. Up front here, I had found that some of the frames, the fasteners had failed on some of the frames, so I'd replaced some of the fasteners in these main frames and tighten them up, and we put 5200 and squeezed them in so that them are a little more structural. And up front here, as you can see, I've marked my keel. Back here I marked it with a marker, but up front I marked it with paint so that I'd know where I can screw these frames, and I'll mark the outside chine before I proceed with the plywood. So that is where we're at on the bottom.
Why don't you share some of the plywood, the cardboard templates?
Okay, we made the cardboard templates for the plywood. And cardboard templates fit in as so. And we've had them all screwed down. We've had them all screwed down just like I would the Luan to make sure that the curves will work. And we actually will go in there and tighten in place. If I put fasteners in them, this would work for the first layer. And the second layer will be staggering the joints for the second layer of plywood. Now in a perfect world, these will go from one side to the other. But I'm not sure it's a perfect world. This one's
pretty perfect, John. It's pretty well.
Fairly decent. Not so sure about the rest. What's happening here? Looks like
we're pretty perfect, John.
And that looks like it will. Looks like it works quite nicely on either side.
So what we'll do is cut out the plywood, seal it on both sides with 2 coats of clear penetrating epoxy sealer. Bilge paint the inside. Lay down these. This will become the inner skin of the new bottom.
We'll lay that down with 5200.
Everything will be bedded in 5200. And then we'll butter the first layer before we put the second layer on.
Then we'll have a nice rubber 5200 seal in between.
That's right.
2 layers.
And we'll end up with a bottom that is impervious to moisture. The CPES will protect against any absorption of water. The bedding in 5200 will make sure that the bottom is absolutely watertight. And it's that issue of water tightness and the age of these planks, because these are all original planks, that will take us to the second component of today's report. So I'll say goodbye for a moment and be right back with you, and we'll pick it up and talk about some issues and some decisions that we'll be making with the owner on the top side.